Hello there, Eddie Mercado here with BloodyElbow.com, and today I will be speaking with undefeated lightweight Drakkar Klose as he is headed to UFC 218 in his home state of Michigan to take on David Teymur. So let's give Drakkar a call and find out what he's been up to since his last fight, find out what he has in store for David Teymur, and maybe his thoughts on fighting at home in Michigan. Mr. Drakkar Klose, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, and yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for taking out the time. Currently undefeated in your mixed martial arts journey, set to compete at UFC 218, home state of Michigan. How are things?
Things are good. Representing for the Lions, baby.
I know it's not always easy being a Lions fan, so you know it's important to represent when you can. How are they how are they doing this season?
We just won. I think we are 6-4.
Okay, not bad. Still got Matthew Stafford at the helm.
Yep. At first, I was thinking they should have traded him, but he's doing a lot better. So
yeah, I heard I heard he was doing better now that Megatron has retired. That he's kind of spreading the ball around a little bit more, which kind of helps him out a bit. But Megatron was fun though, right? He was definitely fun.
Yeah. He would just throw it up to him, you know what I mean, and hopefully he would catch it. So
you're killing it right now, man. So undefeated, you have one draw on your record, but have yet to taste defeat, and you're kind of taking out some prospects. Your UFC debut, you took on Devin Powell and pretty much closed the distance right away, and basically gave him zero room. You didn't let him breathe at all, and it was a little bit too much for him. What was your thoughts on getting your first go at the UFC?
That fight right there was just pretty much getting my feet wet, you know what I mean? And now I'm just ready to make a run for, the title, one fight at a time, Now I have to take out David Teymur, so let's just keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, David Teymur, who is another prospect, he's been knocking people out. A little bit of hype behind him. Your last fight, you took on another guy who had a ton of hype going in, didn't have so much coming out. Mark Diakiese, you picked up a split decision against him. What were your thoughts on that fight? Do you feel like it should have been a split decision, or you think it should have been unanimous?
I thought it was unanimous. I don't know. What do you think? How did you call it?
I scored it for you, 29-28. Well, I could see a 30-27 also, but I don't know. In my opinion, damage, I count damage more than anything else. And if you drop somebody, whether it be a leg kick, a body punch, like whatever, I count that as damage. So you dropped him with the leg kick in the first, and you dropped him with the leg kick in the second. So, I mean, but what did you think about it?
Yeah, I thought it was a unanimous decision. I don't know. I had him on his heels pretty much the whole time. He got a couple, half chokes in, but I thought I ran away with it. But there were some things that I could have did better on, and hopefully this camp I'll tighten that up, and I can show it December 2nd in Detroit.
Okay, now there was a little bit of talking back and forth, and afterwards you heard your name announced, and you screamed at him a little bit. What was that all about?
Just that whole week, even when the fight was announced, he got on Twitter and was talking stuff. It's like, bro, we're gonna fight. You're not scaring anyone. You haven't fought anyone. I've trained I have the best team here in Arizona at the MMA lab. Every day I train with the best. You know what I mean? And I don't know who he trains with. You know what I mean? I think he has a lot of yes men in his life.
Okay, and Did you ever squash the beef there, or is it still you just don't like each other, or?
It's whatever you like. If you don't like me, you don't like me. I'm cool with anybody. I can go anywhere and make friends with anyone. But if you got a problem with me, I guess I got a problem with you. But I have nothing. If he still wants to talk stuff, hey, we can do it. I got the last laugh. So.
All right, let's talk about those leg kicks for a second. I'm noticing this is kind of a new trend that's happening. A lot of guys are kicking the calf, and they're kind of not going for the thigh as we're used to seeing. It's this calf kick that's coming out. I know Benson Henderson does it. Can you speak on the technique itself and why a lot of guys are switching to that as opposed to kicking the thigh?
People, I don't know, those muscles in there, one good kick, it changes up the game, you can't stand the same, you can't push off of it, you know what I mean? So I think, using any part of the body you can hit, you know what I mean, it changes up the game, so.
Okay, now you're headed to Detroit, Michigan, your home state of Michigan. What are your thoughts on going back to the roots, so to speak, and performing in front of a home crowd?
Man, I'm excited, man. Michigan made me the person I am, Michigan molded me, but Phoenix polished me, you know what I mean? So I'm glad I'm going back and get to represent my home state. Hopefully it's a sellout crowd, so the UFC knows that Michigan is a marketable, state, and come back.
Okay, so on the hand, where are you from in relation to where Detroit is?
I'm closer to Chicago. I'm on the border. Just going I could take the highway all the way down and go to Chicago. So I'm 3 hours away from Detroit.
Okay, awesome. So you'll probably have a lot of friends and family attending, I assume.
Yep. The whole wrestling community. I grew up wrestling there. I was a state champion, 2-time finalist. So I'm pretty sure, the whole wrestling community is behind me, and they're going to show up and support me.
Okay, now your opponent, David Teymur, he's really shown off his striking. He came in, got 2 straight knockouts, won a tough decision against Lando Venata, who's also a dangerous striker. Are you think you want to mix it up and kind of test yourself on the feet, or is this going to be give this guy no space and kind of just mug him?
Fighting is reactive, man. Whatever you see, take it, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to say I'm going to wrestle him. I'm not going to say I'm staying with him. Whatever he gives me, I'm going to take it. So we'll find out December 2nd how it goes.
Okay, and what are you seeing in your research of this guy? What do you think of his style when it's put up against a style such as your own?
I think he hits and runs, So hopefully he stands, and wants to fight. I'm not gonna sit there and chase him all night, you know what I mean? I'll stand in the middle of the cage if I have to and just wait there for him. So.
Yeah, I noticed in a couple of your fights, when guys tend to run a little bit, you'll kind of just throw your arms up, just like, hey, where are you going? Like, we're supposed to be fighting. Is that something you're just kind of known for? Is that like your go-to taunt? So, like, if you were in the video game, would that be your,
It's not even, I'm not even taunting them. I'm like, yo, man, let's fight. Come on. Like, this is entertainment, man. The more people that's watching, the more we get paid eventually, you know what I mean? As long as we keep winning. So people don't want to see boring fights. They want to see action.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you mentioned you're training down at the MMA lab with John Crouch and Benson Henderson and those guys. How is camp going for this?
Camp is going great. Today was our sparring day. Had some great rounds, man. Everything's I'm starting to peak at the right time. I'm just ready to put on a show next week.
Awesome. And who are some of the guys you're training with specifically for this matchup?
Benson Henderson, Keone Diggs, Bobby Moffitt, pretty much the whole team. We all do rounds together. You know what I mean? It's not like we pick and choose who we got. We all go together. So
okay, is Scott Holtzman still down there? Hot sauce.
Yes, he is. He had some rounds today. He's fighting not the following week after me. So he got his rounds in today.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I've interviewed him a couple times. He seems like a pretty cool dude, and he legit likes hot sauce. like why he has the name. I think that's kind of cool. I think he even got sponsored. Like he pulled a hot sauce sponsorship deal somehow. So cool dude, definitely a cool dude.
We're actually rooming together right now, and all his hot sauce bottles are all around the house, you know. So it is true. He loves hot sauce.
Have you tried any of it yet? Can you vouch for it?
I have. But I've cut all my sodium out, so you know, I'm staying away from it right now.
Okay, makes sense. So do you have a prediction for this bout? Do you have any idea how you see it going down?
Yeah, of course. Me getting my hand raised.
Nothing beyond that? You don't know if it's going to get a finish? Is it going the distance?
Nah, all I know is I'm going to be 9-0-1 when it's all done.
Awesome. I dig it. And what would be next for you? I mean, undefeated record, that's, you know, the sky's the limit, really.
You know, whoever the UFC gives me, I'm not trying to rush anything. You know, everything's about timing. So, you know, I'm going to take my time, enjoy this, and then whoever they give me next, and, you know, I'll get ready for that opponent.
Yeah, so this is going to be your third fight of 2017, which is pretty unique. There's some guys who maybe get one fight a year. Are you happy with how active you've been, or do you want to be more active or less active, or what are your thoughts on that?
I'm happy about it. Before I got into the UFC, I was, you know, averaging maybe 1 to 2 fights a year. You know what I mean? It was hard for me to find fights, and now, you know, I'm getting 3. Hopefully next year I can get 4. You know, 4 or more. So, you know what I mean? What's the point of training if you can't fight? You know, so, you know, if you're not hurt, you might as well be fighting.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, your name, Drakkar, does that have a specific meaning? It's a pretty unique name.
I'm named after a clone, so I guess my mom must have liked that.
Okay, fair enough. Now, you got any sponsors or people that are helping you out that you'd like to give a special shout out to?
Yeah, I got a buddy named Manny. He's helping me out. Mike Penner Nation, a couple of places out in Michigan. You know what I mean? It just in the MMA lab. You know, I gotta always give them a shout out, because if it wasn't for them, you know, I wouldn't be in the situation that I am now. So I always got to represent my team.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, how can people follow you along on your journey? What are your social media outlets? Your Facebook, Twitter, all that jazz?
You know, since most people don't have, you know, the name Drakkar, it always pop up first. So, but they can find me at Drakkar Klose. On my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's all Drakkar Klose. So.
Awesome. Well, Drakkar Klose, thank you so much for taking out the time. David Teymur is in your crosshairs. Detroit, Michigan, UFC 218, December 2nd. Best of luck to you, sir.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. It was nice talking with you.
So there you have it. Undefeated lightweight Drakkar Klose headed to Detroit, Michigan for UFC 218, taking on David Teymur. Tune in December 2nd. It's going to be fun. In the meantime, you can read me over at bloodyelbow.com. You can follow me on Twitter at @Mercado. If you like this interview, do me a favor, smash the like button and subscribe to my channel right here. Subscribe to Bloody Elbow's YouTube channel right there. Check out these videos over here. Now go be a good person.